Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK. A few days ago I shared this card in my blog post on my website, and I made this for a colour challenge, which is the Inspire Create Challenges challenge, and I'll put a link to that challenge in the description bar below. And the challenge was a colour challenge, and the colours that were chosen are Calypso Coral, Just Jade, Bumblebee and Night of Navy. So the Sweet Symmetry Designer Series paper was the perfect choice for that, and adding in some Night of Navy. And just to make it a little bit different, I decided to make a 4x4 card. Now, because I don't often make cards that size, I had to make an envelope for it too. And a lovely lady commented on my blog post and asked if I would consider doing a video for this and to show all of the steps. So that's what I'm going to do. And I haven't done any prep, so this might be a longer video than normal. I have simply just decided what products I'm going to use, and I'm using some of this beautiful Painted Christmas. Is that what it's called? Let me just double check that. Nope, that's the wrong packet. Yes, Painted Christmas 12x12 Designer Series paper. Now my next video will be using these papers as well, and this is actually left over from that next video. I'm just doing the prep and I've had a play and made one, so I thought, well, why not just use up those and tick the box off my to-do list of doing a tutorial for card and envelope. So these pieces here, from my other project, I'm using 4x4, and I use 9 pieces. So, sorry, I use 8 pieces, and you get 9 pieces from a piece of 12x12 Designer Series paper. So these leftovers I've trimmed down to 3 7/8 of an inch square. So that's just taken 1/8 of an inch off, so that I can add them to my card bases. And my card bases, this is a sheet of A4, so it's 8.5 inches that way. Now, so all I want to do is cut that at 4 inches. Just double checking that you can see. So 4 inches. Okay, now I'm gonna just do another one, because I've got those 2 pieces left over. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to score that at 4 inches, like so. Pop that over, and then I've got that little bit to just slice off. Okay, so that's my card. Oh, obviously didn't do that very well. There we go. Doesn't take much effort. I don't know how I managed that. So just do the other one as well while I'm here. 4, score it, fold it, trim it. Okay, and that will fit those pieces of paper quite nicely. So I'll do the cards first, and then I'll come back with my trimmer and this other piece of Designer Series paper to make the envelopes. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. And I'm using Encircled in Warmth, and for this one I used the Encircled in Beauty dies, but used the Sweet Symmetry stamp set for that one. So I need these 2 dies to cut that larger piece there, and I want that one to layer in the middle. So I'm going to use these two on some real red for a bit extra colour. And so I'm going to stamp, and the stamp that fits in the middle of that one perfectly is Joyful Season. Okay, so that just fits beautifully in there. Let me get my block. I told you I hadn't done much prep. So pop that on the block, ink that up. I'm going to pop it about there, and that will give me plenty of room to die cut that. Okay, so stamping done, cutting done. I'm just going to make one of the cards at the moment, but I've prepped the other one so I can do that off camera. Bringing in my cut and emboss, I've got the base plate, I need the cutting plate, and a clear plate for the bottom. Pop this on like so. Just make sure I've got that lined up quite nicely. Had I been more organised, I might have had washi tape there for it. We'll just run that through. Run it back again. And we've got that cut beautifully. And just get rid of those little bits. And then I can bring in this one. As I say, this larger die will cut the outline. If I just use this, it would just cut the pattern into that, but I actually want it to cut it out of the card as well, so I'm using both. And you just pop them through at the same time, and it'll do all the work for me. Beautifully cut, and it leaves you a circle that you can use for something else later. So I'm just going to put this away. Bring these bad boys back in, and using my take your pick tool, I'm just going to pop out those curly bits. Doesn't take much effort, but just because they are curly, they do tend to get caught up sometimes, so it's easier for me anyway, I find, to just do it while they're in the die. Doesn't take any pressure at all because they are cut. It's just convincing them to move home, move out. Okay, so that's that one. I'll clean my die before I put it away. And this one, again, we've got lots of curly bits in there that would get kind of tangled up, or could get tangled up when you're taking them out. Okay, so I meant to order the die brush that goes at the end with my take a pick tool in my last order, and of course I forgot, so it does at least mean that I can order something else soon. Right, leave it with me. I will come back and finish that off. That takes a little bit more time than I really want to spend while you're watching. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I have got rid of all of those little tiny bits on there now. So, got those two, and I'm simply just going to add those on there. So, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that my glue of preference is a wet glue, so multi-purpose glue. So this will be one of the products that I will link to in my blog post, which will be in the description bar below. I'll list all of the products that I've used for this card, so that you can go and shop in my online shop. And let me get to my silicone mat, which needs a clean. And I'm just going to add little bits of glue along the edge of that piece. Enough to keep it on and hopefully not get too tangled up. Didn't need that anyway. And then my other card, I put a little strip of card just to add a bit more of one of the colours on to that, but I'm not going to do that with that. I need to add some dimensionals to the back of this. I get a lovely new sheet of dimensionals. Take the backings off them and pop that in the middle like so. So card is done. On my other one I added some rhinestones, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to try and keep this nice and simple. So the next bit I want to do is to make the envelope. Back in with my trimmer. This time I want to cut a piece that's 5.5 inches. And I think it was by 10 inches. Should have checked my blog for my instructions. Let's just wing it. If it's wrong, I'll cut this bit out and come back. So 10 inches. I want to score that at 1/2 inch on that side and 1/2 inch that side. Then I want to score that at 4 1/4. I'm going to have that as the bottom. Now I'm going to pop my card in there just to make sure that I'm scoring in the right place there. Okay, so I'm just going to score that with that bit folded up so that the edge is just before the middle bit there. So that was another 4 1/4 and a smidge. And the smidge just allows that bit to fold over nicely like that. Okay. Got the top bit, the short panel at the top there. I wanted to take out those two small rectangles. Let me just burnish this. Might make it easier to see the score lines, but possibly not. Okay, So I want to take out those 2 rectangles, straight along and straight down. Okay, and do the same at this side. So straight down there, straight across there. And the same with the bottom 2 rectangles. So straight along my score line, there and there. And I'm going to bring in, excuse me, my larger scissors to do that. You could do it on your trimmer. I just find it easier just to get the bigger scissors and just chop it. Okay, so get rid of that. Honestly, you should see the mess of my desk. Right, so we've got that piece there. We've got tabs there. What I'm going to do is just notch those tabs a little bit, like so. Same on that side. Okay. I am also on my envelope, don't know if you noticed, but I had a little bit there just so that it's easier to pull your card out. I did that with the tailored tag punch. And I'm just eyeballing it to make sure I've got something kind of similar size on either side there. And just doing it, line up the edge before that corner of the punch here. So just a little notch to make it easier. And I also angled the corners of the flap on the envelope, and I did that by coming in 1/2 inch, so just marking 1/2 inch there, 1/2 inch there, and cutting from my pencil mark down to that corner. And then I can take off any leftover bits of the pencil marks. It's such a good pattern on that, you could just pretend it was one of the little lines. Easy. So, super easy, but because there's a little bit of bulk to that, again, I just want to put my card in, adding my glue. And this is probably one of the times where you might want to use a tape runner or tearing tape so that you don't squidge glue onto your card. Just fold that up, nice and neat. My card's going to slip in and out of that super easily. Lovely piece of tearing tape along the top there so that you can seal it if you want to. And because you've got quite a busy pattern on there, I also added a piece of Whisper White card. Sorry, Basic White. Still can't get out of that habit. Two 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches that was. And just pop that on the front there so that you've got plenty of room to add your address, and you can pop a stamp there. Now I've just noticed that I've got a tiny little bit of overhang there, And because it's red, it would annoy me. So I'm going to just take that off. There you go. So that's how to make the envelope and lovely, super simple, bright and cheery card to go inside. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Click on the description bar below to go over to my blog post, get all the measurements again, and a link to all of the products. If you're new to my channel, then I really would love you to click on that subscribe button too. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.